Hey, pick up on aisle 3, man. Hey, is this your king? My name Darius Adams, AKA Mr. Make It Look Easy, from Decatur, Illinois, born and raised. But Naptown adopted me, so I represent both.
When people hear your name, what do you want them to think of?
He grinded to get it, man. Underdog. Of course, I made a name for myself, made a way for myself overseas. I've really been on every level, grinding from every level, from junior college to Division II to overseas and to EuroLeague in Europe, whatever. So, here to make a name in this YouTube lane, showing what a real pro like.
How did you first fall in love with the game?
I fell in love with the game at a young age. I took a liking to it once I started realizing that I had skills. Growing up in the Boys and Girls Club, we play against all the guys in front of the whole Boys and Girls Club. So that always stuck out to me, to come out, perform, and I wanted people to want to be like me or whatever. So that inspired me to start hooping. And then one of my friends, he ended up showing me Allen Iverson at the time. I just tried to model everything after him after that. The attitude, from the swag, the way you play, the way you dribble, practice, the whole attitude, everything. So I just try to mock my game. Or, after that, small guards, but you get up, you go in there with the trees, you fight against anything, lion-hearted.
If you could, in one word, what does basketball mean to you?
Everything. My love for the game, it took me places I never imagined, took me across the world. It, gave me a platform to provide for my family, get my mom and them out the hood, get me out the hood, just gave me that motivation, that hope. I never dreamed of going overseas to, play basketball or whatever. So, to be able to do that, and then, for people to get to recognize me or recognize my talent, it mean everything. So I appreciate the game and God for giving me this talent.
Now kind of getting a little to the backstory and the journey. In order to get to where you are today, what were some of the biggest obstacles that you faced?
Just like the day-to-day stuff, you growing up in the hood, you only aware of your surroundings. So it's like whatever you see, that's as far as you're gonna go or what you're gonna get. So you see either the drug dealers or a couple players that might make it to, college or overseas. But from my city, nobody ever made it to the NBA. Where my roots is for basketball, or what made me, my journey, it definitely started off in the Boys and Girls Club. I had a guy by the name of John Johnson, RIP to him. He took me and a lot of other kids that, inner city or whatever, to try to make something out of ourselves. Of course, he didn't know I was going to, make it playing basketball, but just to give like the outlet or inspire us to do sports, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, or, anything like that. He just put that motor in our back that we could make whatever happen. And then, which goes on to me playing 4th, 5th, 6th grade, elementary or whatever. And I dropped 30 points when I was in the 6th grade or whatever. And you just kind of take that and you realize that you do got some talent there. My journey, as far as like in middle school, I got kicked off the team in middle school, got voted out because I was playing for the Boys and Girls Club. So, I didn't know you couldn't do both at the time, but, I had that. And that kind of followed me all up until, high school. I got kicked off 7th grade year, 8th grade year, I got kicked off. 9th grade year, I didn't make the team. So having to see some of my friends that, of course, I was, better than or had much better talent than, make the team and have to sit in the games and watch that, it inspired me to, get my stuff together and, kind of finish a team. So I had to go that whole season without playing. I joined track. I finished track. Before that basketball season, I had played football and got kicked off. So it was like a downward, pattern that I was going through with getting kicked off the team or not finishing, what I started. So after that, I just locked in and, worked on my game, got better, showed the coach that, I was serious, wasn't getting into trouble and all that. But I still wasn't playing as much. So my sophomore, junior year, I wasn't playing. And then my senior year, I wasn't playing as much, but one of our key players was ineligible, so I had to play. And ever since then, I was averaging, 24 points. And then I just took off from that. But my journey from there was my assistant coach, Coach Davis. He seen something in me. He took a liking to me. So he ended up taking me to a junior college for an open gym. And I ended up going to play there, and they offered me a scholarship or whatever. So I did that, went on to get Player of the Year at Lincoln College, got third in the nation playing or whatever. And then I went to D2. My coach, Stan Gerard, he used to, show up. He knew I wasn't gonna go there because, growing up, Division II wasn't like the thing. Like, I know I'm a Division I player, so I used to kind of laugh at the letters with my friends and throw them out. But one thing that stuck with me was he kept showing up even though he thought I was never gonna go to a school. So just showing that relentlessness, that love, and like, I'm gonna show up till you decide somewhere else. So I went on to do that. I went to University of Indianapolis, which brought me here to Indianapolis. And I led every category in scoring, assists, steals, rebounds. My junior year with 19 points, and then my senior year I averaged 24 points and led everything too. And I ended up getting All-American or whatever. So from that college stuff, I went on to go pro. I started my pro career in South America, which I went on a tryout. So when people see where I'm at now, they don't know like the journey that happened before that. I went to Venezuela on a tryout. It was 5 players. I'm the only one who got, chose. One of the guys who was with me on the tryout was one of the famous dunkers. I think he on Flight Fest. His name Guy Dupree or whatever. He was there, Guy Dupree, when I played or whatever. Shout out to him because he stole my shoes, but we remember that. But yeah, so I went on and did that, and then after that, one of my teammates ended up, kind of helping me get with a different agent, which took me on to Europe. Started in Ukraine, second in scoring in Ukraine, and then went on to France to finish the season, then Germany for a full season, which I led the league in scoring there. And then after that season, I got guard of the year, and then I went back to France, played for Orléans for maybe a couple months. Got my big game against Sevilla in Spain. They had Porzingis and Heron Gomez as the bigs there. I had a great game against them, and then I got bought out by Baskonia, which I was on the team with the likes of Mike James. We ended up going to Final Four. I led the Spanish League in scoring as well. And then I took my talents to China, man, trying to make it to the NBA. That was my whole goal, was to make it to the NBA. I didn't get signed that summer, so the trajectory was to get to the NBA. So I ended up going there my first year, win a championship with Andre Blatch, who played with Paul Pierce. He played with KG. He was drafted by the Wizards. That's just been my story, man. Yes, it paid off later, but it was always a constant grind, which is still a constant grind to this day. That's why I say when going against these guys, I don't look down on nobody. It's basically just to give motivation, but I still am who I am. I don't think it's nobody that's been on every level that wasn't considered like NBA or top Division I or whatever. So I feel as I'm could be a spokesman for the underdogs. That's who I'm rooting for. With the odds stacked against them, that's been me my whole career, my whole life. I ain't mentioned this in my story because it's not really something that I want to highlight or give any recognition to. But when I was my junior year going to my senior year, I got shot, and I still was able to make it that year to finish and play, and I got I almost got Player of the Year or whatever. So it's just showing that relentlessness, that toughness. You always got to keep that chip on your shoulder, especially coming from a city like mine. Decatur, Illinois is a small town that nobody ever make it. Of course, I wanted to be the first one to make it out of there to the NBA, but God blessed me in other ways to still take care of my family. So that's been my journey, non-stop grinding. You might get to a certain point, but you still want to keep going. I'm never content. That's what I give advice to whoever, grinding. Never be content, because you could be at the top and, somebody come pass you up if you ain't ready. So that's my motivation. That was a lot. I never really told my story for real, so.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of people watching this. This is perfect.
Yeah.
I had a question, but off camera from this. I heard Andre Blatch was like a bucket.
What? Crazy bucket.
For being a big, but
crazy bucket. He got guard handles. If that wasn't the time for the bigs. Like for the bigs to come he could bring the ball up, he could pass, he could shoot, he could dribble, he's 7 feet. So he could do everything or whatever with the ball. So before it was like the Wemby and all them doing all this, like the stretch 4, the stretch 5, whatever, he was doing that. So big shout out to him. I used to tell him all the time, I'm like, bro, why are you here in China? Like, why are you here? But, I don't know.
You're facing Rob, who we believe is the #1 player on YouTube. What's your honest take on that? Do you believe he is? What's your thoughts on Rob?
So I tapped in late to the 1v1 scene or whatever, but I don't know who he's faced to make him #1. Like, he would have to face like a Nas or Lamar Peters or whatever, and he one of the top guys too. So I would think he would have to go through them to be considered king, or what they call him, Thanos or whatever. So, I mean, I don't know, but obviously he got a game he could play. I ain't never, denying that. Just saying, like, there's levels to it. Yes, I'm not on the YouTube scene or whatever, so people may not be familiar, or they think that, okay, I'm a 5-on-5 player or whatever, but you can ask anybody. Whether it's 5-on-5, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, whatever, I play all day. So, of course, I'm not taking them super lightly either, because, again, I'm rooting for the underdog. So anybody can be beat, like, as long as they got the will to fight the dog or whatever. But I'm a big dog, and I take myself as being like one of them, but times 10, if that makes sense. Like, I'm a Rob times 10. I done, made a lane for myself, but at the same time, I was always kind of looked down on too. So not to take nothing away from him when I made the comment, but it is what it is. Y'all see December 6th, the difference that I'm trying to tell you from a pro from a Joe. I said Joe in general or whatever. Yes, he's probably one of the better ones or whatever, but in the YouTube space, I'm gonna show you, man. That's all I can say. I'll show you a little bit.
What do you feel most separates you from a guy like Rob, who's built his name online, compared to the way that you did it? Like, what would be the characteristic trait basketball-wise that you would notice or would want to say is different about you?
It might be a little bit of experience. It might be just, I don't think he got the heart or the will that I got. I would say that. Like, he don't got the dog that I got. I would say that. And not everybody do. It's like a switch. I have seen him play, and I've seen him turn it on, in a sense. I only seen him play once, but it's the levels of where. I did this everywhere around the world, around the country, around the world. And I've shown and proved, like, why I'm me, or, why I got to where I got to. And of course, I'm still not looking down on him. He just ain't there yet. Like I said, I got him about 10 years. It come with experience. Some of the stuff that he do, like, yeah, he could shoot, yeah, he could, dribble, whatever, but it's like it's levels to it, and you'll see. That's all I can say, because y'all could do research or whatever, but it'll only be 5-on-5 or whatever, so it'll just be must-see TV, something you got to see. When we done with this, I'll be like, I told y'all so. But.
Do you feel like you're at a disadvantage in the one-on-one space in terms of experience, the way that this is played?
Of course, because of the rules that y'all play, but not in a sense of 1v1. I've been doing that my whole life. And I grew up in the parks. It's different from the kids nowadays. Like, I grew up in the parks. When playing 21 to playing 1v1, I've been beat before, so I know what it felt like, but that was when I was 10 years old. So, I know what the embarrassment that I felt when that happened. And I vowed to, get stronger, work on my game, and to not be on the other end of that. So, yeah, with the rules, he do got experience, because of course I ain't never played no 1v1 on the TNC platform or whatever, but in a real sense, like basketball-wise, this ain't nothing new to me. And I know a lot of people say stuff about being in shape, but I'm not like the other guys. I play every day. This is what I do. Non-stop, don't stop, never duck, no smoke, never. Whoever wanted to play, I always play them. It's no matter what level you on. Whenever I do play somebody that's I feel not on my level. I just make sure they know that.
How do you feel that this matchup fits into your personal story, and what does a win here prove necessarily, but more just like this is just another step in your basketball career, and like I guess more so what's intriguing about it, and what are you looking to prove something to yourself? Is there still a chip on your shoulder to prove something to others? Does this fit into your story in any way?
Before it was cool to score, I've been scoring. Before it was, cool to get buckets. Like now, everybody averages 20 points, everybody want to score, everybody gets buckets or whatever. But I grew up in a time where that wasn't cool. You can do it, but you gotta kind of take a risk, because you'll be right on the bench if you do something the coach don't want you to do. You gotta pass the ball in the post. So this would just be something that I always done. So this is my lane too. I won't be boxed in. Like, it's not just a 5v5 or whatever. I don't let nobody put me in a box. They don't think it could be done. They don't think I could do it. They think I'm too old, or whatever they want to say, whatever the naysayers say, that's what I'm here to prove them wrong. And I always had that chip on my shoulder. It's like when you in the gym and somebody talking shit to you, what else you gonna do to shut them up? Check ball, shut them up. So that's what it is as far as this 1v1 scene. And it's like, I came to a game, and yes, I'm a fan of it now. I like how this space is growing. They shine a light on people who didn't make it probably to the league or big time college or overseas or whatever. So it's giving light to basically the hoods, because a lot of these guys come from the hood or whatever. So I rock with that, trying to incorporate the pros versus the ones who was just maybe a step away from making it. So, just to show them that it's levels.
I wanted to go on that. This question's something that I don't have written down, so I'll try to explain it. But there's a narrative that goes around that they say that one-on-one's not real basketball. And even there's, professional guys that look down on it, that say, like, why do you think they are looking down on it? Are there things that you think need to be changed? What do you think is like the next step and why are they not looking at it serious?
Part of the reason why they're not looking at it serious is because what is allowed, like certain rules, like the fouling, the extreme fouling, like that's not basketball. It's basically like who can beat up the next person, basically. So it's, in a sense, it's boxing. You in a fucking boxing match trying to play basketball. It's never gonna work. It's always gonna be, fights or flare-ups, people in the crowd, getting involved or whatever. So if it was like cleaner, which I seen on y'all, platform, that it don't really too much be like no fights or nothing like that or getting out of hand. So that would probably be the main thing, because if it's not clean and we're not getting what we're supposed to get out of it, then why are we doing it? Of course, 1v1 is gonna be looked at in a different way because, of course, our head is, the head sport is NBA. So it's 5-on-5, it's not an I in team, it's a team sport or whatever. But if you break down each individual, it's 1v1. You gotta check somebody. So, that helps. I think it could help you in a sense, because you get to guard your yard, you work on your defense, because if not, they're just gonna run 30 straight like Nesco did Ty. So
it's good to lead into the next question of just like, what, as such a high level professional, has preparing for a one-on-one been any different in any way?
I'll let you in on a secret. So when we decided to do this, my very first game of 1v1 going to 30, I did get a little tired. Like, I'm like, well, dang, why am I getting a little tired? I normally never get tired or whatever. But so it was a little different. And I think I airballed maybe like 3 or 4 times or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, I definitely got to be in shape, just to make, good decision or whatever. But I'm not taking it lightly, of course, from the ones that went before me. The pros ain't looking too good, man. A few of them got beat or whatever. And, I'm not prepared for that, to get beat. So I think I'm going to not take it lightly and, keep training to get better, not taking Rob, lightly. Like I said, he got game. He can make some shots or whatever. But, I'll make sure I'm in shape and ready for it.
How do you lock in mentally when the lights come on?
Like I said earlier, it's a switch. It's them times growing up in Decatur where you being laughed at, or, people don't want to see you win, or I don't make the team my freshman year and I got to sit there that whole time, or my junior year, sophomore year, whatever, when I'm not playing and I'm sitting on the bench and they laugh and the coach puts you in with 10 seconds or 30 seconds. It's those constant reminders that I never want to feel that again. And I took that with me, throughout my pro career. You can ask anybody that I ever played against or teams I played with, even if it's pro-am, it's city leagues or whatever, I never want to come out the game. I always want to be the guy. So I put in the work, so I'm not like that no more. And yes, I was good then. I had talent then, but sometimes a coach don't see it. So what do? You make it to where it's undeniable. So taking all that in accountability of everything I've been through, what I worked through, I could go to countless countries that I played in where you had to deal with adversity. I had to go in China during a quarantine. You had to be in a hotel for 14 days straight. Can't come out. They give you 3 meals a day. And then when you get out, you got to go and perform. It's no excuses. It's back against the wall. It's underdog. It's that grit, that grind. That's my motivation. My kids, my family. My mama went through COVID. My mama had COVID. I almost passed. It's everything. Everybody count on, me, and you want to be the guy that, your family count on. So just those constant reminders every day of that, I got people that's counting on me. So, and I'm counting on myself.
When people look back on this event, what do you want them to leave saying about you?
Respect. I understand it now. I see it now. What'd he say? It's I ain't just saying this just to say it or whatever. This is who I am. This is who I always been. And of course, I got to turn y'all into believers just like everybody else on the journey up. I had to make them into believers. Nobody ever thought I was going to make it as far as I did. And, I did. I count on myself. That's another thing knocked off the list. I'm pretty sure after this, they'll be trying to, match me up with somebody else.
If you could talk to a younger version of yourself right now, what would you tell him?
Never too high, never too low. It's a marathon, Just because stuff ain't going your way, right now, it don't mean that it won't happen for you eventually. As long as you keep putting in the work, keep going hard, keep God first, and the sky's the limit. Everybody growing up, everybody can contest to this. Somebody has put their failures on you. They said what you can't do, what you can do, they limit you, but truth be told, nobody know what anybody gonna pan out to be or what the future holds for them. Anything can happen. Stay patient, stay confident, stay motivated, and just grind. And enjoy the process too, because it feel good knowing that nobody was saying I told you so, or I knew you was gonna be who you was gonna be. It just happened, and then they had to see it and be like, damn, you actually, all the shit that you went through, all the obstacles you overcame, the adversity, and you still made it with all the cards stacked against you. So, I just tell myself to just stay with it for the long run.
Why do you think Rob hasn't said a word about you?
Of course, you don't want to eat your words. So I don't think he prepared for that. Of course, I probably the highest caliber player he played. So it's kind of like he trying to get at me without saying nothing. It's a tactic that people do to kind of make it like he ain't worried about me. But I know he worried about me, and he better be prepared and training every day and going hard, because that matchup coming, December coming in 2 weeks.
Are you looking pass Rob by any means?
Nah, I respect the game. I know how it be. Not no upsets coming this way, but I respect everybody. It's one at a time. So looking at him, and then after I face him, who next? Because I'm gonna be like, I told you so.